All right, so we're checking out the SNT Y60, and this is a 1/64 scale rock crawler, again from this company called SNT. And if you missed my previous videos on the SNT, I think it was, I forget the model names of the smaller cars, the first and second generations. I'll link those videos down in the video description. You can check it out. Those they sent as a full kit with the goggles and the controller. This one, as you can see in the small box here, just came with the car, and of course the FPV camera. And I'm not going to go over the controller, which I went over in the last video. It's the same. We're just going to talk about what is new on the rock crawler, this 4x4 rock crawler. And you can see it has nice suspension here, a lot of huge springs here in the bottom, and lots of articulation. So obviously that gives you that rock crawler capability. The rear axle doesn't articulate as much. Still pretty good, but not as much. And look at the bottom here, that's where the motor is, a little brushed motor. It's 4x4, so all four wheels turn. It's your USB-C connector there for powering up or charging up the battery. And yeah, again, let's look at the steering here and the articulation, the ability to go over objects, but there are some limitations. I'll talk about what you can and can't do. So this comes with a spare set of tires, which are different from this one. So this one here is mainly meant for like smoother surfaces, and they've got these extra tires here. They're a little bit more knobby, and it's meant for like dirt or sand if you're going to be running these outside. Also in this box is a small rock, and then you get a USB-C cable, and of course you get the manual. Goes over how everything works, Chinese and English. You'll notice here on the top there's two covers for where you can attach the camera, and of course it's magnetic like the previous version. So they have two different places to put this to give you different sort of CG, and if it's in the middle, which is better for CG, and it's like this, you're not going to see the front of the car because it's not wide enough angle for that. And this is going to give you a better CG, but just basically gives you the first person view, the FPV view, without looking at the car. But if you want to have the car in view, you can move it to the back position here, and then with the camera in this position, you are able to see the front of the car in your FPV view. However, because it is more back heavy, you'll have a tendency to have the front sort of pitch up, and then you'll end up kind of on your back like this. That's especially if it's too steep of an angle that you're trying to climb. So it's a trade-off. It kind of depends on what you're going for. Also worth noting, because the CG is already really high on this vehicle, even without the camera on there, it has a pretty easy tendency to flip over if you're on sort of a steeper terrain. And with the camera on there, of course, it's going to have an even easier time to flip over. So we'll show you that here when we show you the driving demo. Okay, just to show you the lights, I turned this on here, bound it to the controller, got your lights in the front, and you have lights in the rear. When you go into reverse, it lights up. And then you have your turn signals, left and right as your steering. And then you can control the lights via the button here. So there's off, like a low level, and then a high level, and then off again. So okay, so let's go ahead and drive this around, and I'll give you some of my thoughts as I'm driving this around, and we'll also show you the FPV footage. All right, so I got this, I guess it's like a little track that they sent along with the last video, and then I put a towel under here with some like batteries under here to create little hills to climb over. And I'm going to set the speed to pretty slow. If you go too fast in this, it will flip over. And I'll go ahead and we'll just kind of move it. And something I noticed about this is that it often gets stuck where I'm trying to move it, I'm trying to give it power, and it doesn't want to go. So you have to reverse it, and then it'll go. And then it gets stuck again. See, like the wheel here looks like it is stuck, and I can't move it, so I have to reverse out. And it looks like the wheel is stuck here. It's very strange. You can see a tendency to flip over here. I'm just going to go kind of slow. And I noticed that my steering is totally skewed like this. It seems to get into this sort of position pretty often. I'm not sure if mine's defective or not. But what I'm going to do is I'll turn off the controller and turn it back on. Interesting, when I turn the controller off, the FPV feed suddenly stopped. Yeah, and the steering is still stuck. So I'm gonna turn this off, and we'll turn this back on again. And you see it flipped over again, and the wheel is still in this bizarre angled position like this, and I can't seem to get it out of there. Yeah, this is now, it looks like it's permanently stuck. And my steering, yeah, the steering doesn't work at all now. It's completely unresponsive whatsoever. So you can see here, I'm going to put the car here. You can see the wheels are not lined up correctly. Okay, you can see how the steering is like this. Is the wheels are not lined up correctly, and the steering doesn't work at all. I only have throttle control. Really bizarre. But anyway, I'm just going to try and run it around here in circles, just to show you that it does work. It's just that I have no control of the steering whatsoever. So not particularly that fun for me, because it I can only go in circles, as you can see, because my steering is apparently broken. But yeah, you know, hopefully they'll send me another one. If they do, I'll make another video on this one. But that's gonna do it for this one. I'm gonna put this video out as is, just letting you know that, you know, sometimes quality control ain't so great, and yes, us reviewers can get the reviewer's curse and have a dud once in a while. Doesn't mean that you necessarily will have one like this, but yeah, it'll happen sometimes. Alright, that's going to do it for this video. Talk to you guys in the next one.